Hey guys, this is Matt with Propheasy. As you know, we're doing a series on the Old Testament Jewish feasts. There are 7 of them, 4 spring feasts and 3 fall feasts. We've already talked about the overview of what they mean, and then we've talked about Passover specifically. So today we're going to be talking about the rest of Jesus' time on earth and the next 2 Jewish feasts and how he fulfilled them. As always, I'm not a minister. I'm just a guy that studied a little bit about this and finds it very interesting and wants to pass along what I've learned and hopefully make prophecy easy to understand. So that's why this is Propheasy. So in the last video, we talked about Passover and how Christ was crucified on that Jewish holiday. In this video, we're going to talk about the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which always was celebrated the day after Passover, and then the Feast of First Fruits, which was celebrated 2 days after that. So basically, the Feast of First Fruits is when the Jews would celebrate the day that they actually fled from Egypt. So, the night before, God had passed over their households and not killed their firstborn sons. So the next day, they left Egypt, and God told them to leave quickly. And because of that, they didn't have time to wait for any of their bread to rise. And that's what unleavened means. It means not unrisen bread. So that's what they're celebrating. They're celebrating the day they were able to leave Egypt, the day they fled, but they had to do it so quickly that they couldn't wait for the bread to rise. So Christ is representative of that. Christ fulfilled that because he was placed in the ground that day. He was unrisen, just like the unrisen or unleavened bread. And then 2 days later, they have the Feast of First Fruits. And so what that is that when the Jews would celebrate the first harvest from the crops, it was always the first fruit taken from the ground. That's what they would celebrate on the Feast of First Fruits. So the fact that Christ rose from the grave, that he came up from the ground 2 days later, the same day the Jews were celebrating the Feast of First Fruits, shows that he fulfilled all 3 of those holidays in a row. He fulfilled Passover by being the ultimate sacrificial lamb. He fulfilled the next day, he fulfilled the Feast of Unleavened Bread by going into the ground. And then 2 days later, he fulfilled the Feast of First Fruits by coming from the ground, by being the first fruit. The Bible even says that Jesus was the first fruit among many. Those are the first 3 spring feasts. In the next video, we're going to talk about the Feast of Weeks, which we have come to know as Pentecost. So stick around.